slate. Are we on? We're on. Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Let's see, are there any guests that want to speak?
Yes, and Jorge just arrived, right? Yes.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Okay, and this is about item 12?
Item 12, yes.
Okay, well, let's skip to, in the interest of time, we'll skip down to item number 12 on the agenda. So these guys they don't want to be bored listening to our stuff all morning. Y'all have the floor.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, board. Jorge Ojeda with CEA Group, and we're the engineers for item number 12. We have submitted a durable land exhibit for the Socorro Logistics Center Unit 1 project. This will be about 100 acres located at the intersection of Nuevo Huecotanes Boulevard and North Loop Drive. The development will consist of an industrial park project. Right now, we're looking at two buildings that will be proposed within that first phase of the industrial project. This has been submitted to the city of Socorro initially as well. I guess the intent is to build a master plan complex within the area that you see there. In total acreage is about 267 acres, which will consist of an industrial park facilities, as well as.
Where is it? I can't tell.
It's that,
The green thing.
see where that green
Green?
land
Okay.
is?
Okay.
That's the land in question for
Okay.
irrigation. And
Right.
the brown area, all that area is what they're going to develop.
Right, so this is pretty much the limit, what's the jurisdictional boundary of the city of Socorro. So really the master plan encompasses this entire rectangle. Our proposed irrigable land exhibit that has been presented to you all is the first phase that would go here in the middle. With that, we do have an existing irrigation ditch, an existing community ditch that's being fed by the Juan de Lateral Branch C at this point. There's a turnout at this point, and it feeds the property owners, the bulk car property owners, to the existing farmland there, the farm mates.
Whose farm is that, or was it?
Burris, wasn't it?
That was Burris land.
Burris? Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably
There's
Burris.
a church
Yeah.
over here on North Loop.
And Enrique Escobar purchased it, and then I understand he has sold to Hunt.
That's correct. So Enrique Escobar was the original owner of the entire property. He sold the property to Hunt, what we're calling the industrial acreage. What Mr. Escobar kept was the commercial that's going to be fronting North Loop Drive and Huecotanes Road. It's about 25 acres that you guys will be seeing the irrigable land exhibit, soon on that one as well. And that's going to be commercial development. And then behind that would be the industrial development. So our project.
His farm is remaining up there?
Excuse me?
The farmland that's still in existence, whose is that?
Yeah, so the farmland is not part of this ownership. This is part of the Belcar LLC ownership.
You're talking about that.
Yeah, who is it?
That's
Naveen, Novidomskis.
That's they've had several offers and have refused to
Right, so
sell.
So initially, I think Mr. Escobar had approached them as far as selling the property. That did not go through. When Hans owns the parcel of land as well, they approached them as well to sell. Socorro Logistics Partners as well approached him to see if he would be interested in selling that property, but he's
And
not.
they still irrigate there?
Yes.
Okay.
So as part of this development, we are proposing the relocation of the existing community ditch parallel to the streets that would be incorporated within this entire development. We would still keep the turnout at this point, and then it would be a concrete lined community ditch. So Socorro Logistics is proposing to concrete line the ditch, and really we would just kind of follow the proposed development streets that are coming in here, and then come back and then end it at the exact same point that he's getting it before it crosses the Messisburg Drive. So there's an existing 30-inch corrugated metal pipe, that's at this point, and then this is what crosses the irrigation water, you know, to his property. So our 2 points would still be the same points of connection, which would be the turnout. And then the end point here before it crosses into the domestic spur drain. And like I mentioned, they are proposing, and that would be a concrete lined channel, you know, for him to receive the irrigation water.
You know, the only thing that concerns me, and I haven't talked to engineering about it, but they put that ditch in for a reason because of the gravity flow and the elevations. If you move it down, are we gonna have the right elevation?
So we did analyze the channel. We submitted, improvement plans for the channel have been submitted to also to the district for courtesy review as well. We do have a drop in elevation from this point to this point, a constant flow. We do have a capacity as well on that channel, at least a minimum 1 foot of freeboard as well. So we ran that model hydraulically using some HEC-RAS modeling and some of the engineering software available to us.
Well, now, he's calling it a community ditch. Is it one of our canals?
No,
So it's not a community, it's to us.
no, it's a community ditch, belongs to the landowners there, but it services one of our other customers over there, and so, you know, we can't approve anything that
Right.
prevents us from delivering water
Right,
to the other guy. I mean, that's our charge in life.
As part of the, just wanted to add, as part of the license agreement that Pro Logistics is doing for this particular channel, is that they will be maintaining the portion within this entire.
That's another thing, that was my next question, who's gonna maintain it?
So Pro Logistics Partners will be maintaining that concrete community ditch out from that point to, you know, to the end zone.
Oh, boy. Our experience with people that don't know anything about it, maintaining our ditches is not good. So,
Well, ours ends right here, right by the old dairy, and it ends right there, right below the green, right?
and so,
Doesn't it become the responsibility of the one that's receiving the
David
water?
Burris.
John, doesn't it ultimately become the responsibility of the one that's
You're
receiving the
gonna have
water?
to talk louder.
The one that receives the water is the one responsible for maintaining and weighing the rules?
No, the landowners maintain, is responsible for their section of it.
Okay.
Which would be,
So Pro Logistics Partners will be maintaining that concrete community ditch up to the Mexisburg Road.
Wow, how do we enforce it, Johnny?
Don't give them any water.
Okay.
If you don't give them any water, they don't get it.
And then the one that loses out is our
That's what I
constituent.
say, so I mean, it's a problem. These things are always a problem.
how many, what's the length of your proposed,
The length is approximately 4,042 feet.
almost 3/4 inch?
Yeah.
Three-quarters of a mile.
The existing community ditch is about a little over 3,200 linear feet.
And how big
Well,
are you gonna make it?
So right now we're looking, we had submitted some preliminary drawings. We went back and we revisited our channel, and the way we have our channel right now is about a 2-foot channel bottom and a 3.5 channel height.
and you have sent in all the engineering to our engineering department?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, we'll have to listen to it from them, we'll have to hear from them, because, you know, they're gonna have to prove what we do to make sure it works.
Absolutely.
But,
Is Ron Freeman the attorney representing us?
No, this is no longer owned by Hunt. It's owned by
Oh,
Pro
okay.
Logistics Partners.
Okay.
And then we do have Andy Moreno with Ken Smith as well, if you guys have any questions on that license agreement.
And I believe Socorro Logistic Partners is out of Georgia?
Yes, so Pro Logistics Partners is out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Really, wow. Talk about El Paso growing.
Yeah.
Because of Maquila.
Right, with the recent growth on the industrial sector,
Yeah,
you know,
And that industrial section, I think, is a feeder to
to the Amazon.
the Amazon
Right.
warehouse.
So once the Amazon came in across the
I
street,
hadn't even
you know,
noticed that.
you're seeing a lot of growth in the industrial parks to feed the Amazon.
What happens?
I knew that's gonna spur a lot of interest in the area.
So the old community, that this ditch would be abandoned, and then obviously the new concrete line ditch would be the new ditch.
It would be abandoned, is that right?
Right.
think it'll have a warehouse on top of it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, guys, well, I think probably we need to discuss some of this stuff in closed session. Appreciate you, your presentation this morning, and we'll do the best we can.
Appreciate it, thank you,
One
gentlemen.
last question, does that include fencing around the ditch, or what? You're gonna have it,
So we have, right now, we have like some stem rocks, some rock walls abutting that kind of just parallel to that ditch, and we would be providing access as well through the, there's gonna be some public dedicated streets, and you'll be able to see as part of the urban landing grid. So we'll provide access, to the owner as well, through public dedicated streets that are gonna be within this development.
I have a question, John.
Yes,
Yes.
Can you give me a general timeline of well, how this is gonna evolve from your flat work to actual concrete on the ground?
So we're looking at starting in April. That's the groundwork. So right now, improvement plans have been submitted also to the city of Socorro. Preliminary plan was just recently approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission this last Tuesday. We're looking at going to city council on the 20th. Like I said, the master plan has also been approved by the city council. So we're looking at final improvement plans, hopefully getting approved by the end of February, and then initiate construction on this. They do want to turn this pretty quick. That's phase one, and then they'll be moving forward with the next phases as well.
You'll be dumping concrete sometime later this year sometime?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
and the total that's irrigated for this owner is how much? That's feeding to? What's-
The acreage
Yeah,
that they have here, I think it's, I believe it's about 26 acres.
3/4 of a mile for 26 acres?
So we
You know,
don't have.
too, I mean,
So,
I don't know that this is our bailiwick or what, but it needs to be in before irrigation.
absolutely, so that's kind of why we're here, and we're trying to get this approved so that the district could review the engineering plan, so that really the first priority would be to start building that community ditch now, the concrete line ditch, so that, hopefully in irrigation season, that's gonna be their new system.
Am I missing something, or is there a drainage ditch that's not part of this thing?
Oh, yeah,
Isn't there a drainage ditch? We missed the drainage ditch?
already have.
It goes under it.
Are you guys gonna take over the drainage ditch, or is there a drainage ditch in this?
On which particular?
Well, the whole thing. I thought there was a drainage ditch running parallel with North Loop throughout the whole.
No,
No,
there's
the
not.
drain ditch runs, just underneath that property,
That crooked
the
one.
Mesa Spur drain.
Mhm.
Sand.
So we're avoiding it?
Right.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Which nothing
Okay,
formed from
well,
that,
we thank you, and we'll take it under consideration. We'll be back in touch.
Thank
I know
you.
you guys are staying busy, I can
Thank you.
tell. so
Yeah, thank you.
you bet.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gentlemen, I'll just say, my name is Eddie Moreno, I'm with Smith. I helped the developer and the owner of the lines, Coral Logistics Lines, put together a license agreement and exchanged copies of that, or drafts of that with Dr. Blair. And what the license agreement does is grants to Valcar LLC, the farm, the ability to use that ditch. So it's a non-exclusive, irrevocable license. So if there's
Okay,
any
we
questions.
have our own license agreements. I'm not sure that yours will apply, but as far as, right?
Yeah, this is a unique situation, and I'll explain. They decided, I asked for an easement to the owners of this irrigable land that need to be serviced, and Eddie is recommending some form, what he's calling his license, a license from the developer to that landowner. We don't have anything to do with that license. It's their license, but we'll discuss that when we go to closed session.
Okay, works for me. All right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys. Y'all have a nice day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can we have the lights back on?
Yes.
Interesting. We have development on this way.
How fast is exploding? Goodbye, our small city. Okay. The minutes of the November 10th meeting.
I I've got some concerns about those minutes.
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. I wasn't looking up. Did you-
No,
He was just signing it.
Oh.
just attending the meeting.
Okay, so nobody else needs to talk on this? Okay. All right, the minutes, item number 3.
I've got some concerns about them.
You what?
Well, we need to keep straight, we need to understand that the Public Service Board is a division of the city. It's a part of the city. And the name El Paso Water is just a coin named by the staff. And, so you need to talk about the city of El Paso, and if you want to say through the public service, through its Public Service Board, you can do that. Well,
What I'm looking at
always-
says the city of El Paso on behalf of. You wanna change behalf to something else?
Well, it's not on behalf of, the Public Service Board is just a department.
That's what I'm saying, when I'm looking at it, it says behalf. So the city of El Paso represented by Public Service Board?
The way we've always tried to do it for years is to say the city of El Paso, through its Public Service Board.
Through,
Yeah.
okay. That's not hard to do.
Will you make those corrections, Glenn?
Yes.
Through, there, through the,
Well, I
Public
said
Service
through
Board.
its.
there's less words than what we got, so that's good.
It's public.
Through its,
The Public Service
Through
Board
the
is a
Public
integral
Service
part of
Board,
the
so
city.
it's
It
through
isn't-
the Public Service Board.
Public Service Board isn't separate in any sense.
Right.
We're dealing with the city of El Paso.
Right, exactly.
Any place that appears in here, we'll change that, okay?
Yes.
All right. Any other changes, suggestions, comments about the minutes?
Well,
Are
you
you all right with them?
know, this is not so urgent, but that tab 16, you'll keep talking about the agenda, meeting for the agenda. You don't do that. It doesn't have anything to do with the agenda. The agenda is exclusively set by the members of the board of directors, solely the board.
Well,
Not
Spirit,
Al Blair, not me.
Mr. Spirit,
Yes, sir.
we're not on number 16, we're on item 3, and that says consideration, it doesn't say to do anything else. We're gonna consider what should be on it. The board has to, directors says what's supposed to
But why have it? What purpose is it serve?
be. I don't know, but it's gonna stay, so don't worry about it, you're okay.
You're gonna leave there?
I'm gonna leave it there. It's been
Why?
there for about 5 years because I'm,
Go ahead and if I-
because I want
It showed up
to.
this year, this calendar year with the
All
first
right,
time.
back to the minutes, okay? We made one of your corrections. Now, that other deal, we don't need to worry about. Do I hear any other comments or concerns about the minutes? If not, I entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Okay, Larry makes a motion. George seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
and then we were going to ask you all to table everything else until we get to the license,
Okay.
until the February meeting,
Oh, perfect.
because Sharon's been out with COVID,
Right.
Mary's out with COVID, and I
The
asked,
whole world's out with COVID.
so I asked Rose to stay outside of the meeting also.
Okay.
So if you all
So,
would agree to that, then
no, that's fine. We're talking about 5, 6. No action taken on item 5, no action taken on item 6. And but you're gonna give your report. I mean, you're not COVID-ed out, are you?
no.
Yes, let the record show no action on 5 and 6. All right, which brings you, are you talking about the rest of it till February?
Yeah, I can give my report if you'd like.
Robert and everybody.
Johnny, can I say one more thing?
Robert?
If it's short,
Okay, the Public Service Board is totally a part of the city, it doesn't make assignments. See, it says here on, it says the city of El Paso, on behalf of the Public Service Board, assignments.
we're changing that. It's not behalf anymore, it's through its public service board,
Okay,
It's gonna be
okay,
across the board. It's gonna
Okay.
change.
by your suggestion, all right? Okay.
Thank you, John.
okay.
All right, general manager's report.
Okay, so the first item, item A, El Paso Water has completed the replacement of their sewer line on the west side that's been causing problems since August, yes.
Huge.
Yeah, they completed it last week. They brought it online, but they're revving it up real slow because they're testing to make sure that they don't have any other leaks. So we got a report yesterday that they will probably be totally remove all the water going towards the river by next Monday. And then we can start working on the cleanup. Now, I've been approached by Mr. Badu about if we wanted to run the cleanup, if we wanted to control the cleanup, and I've discussed it with Al. I've contacted a company that is licensed through TCEQ to do such work, and I'm supposed to meet with them as soon as they take the water out. He wants to review our channel and see exactly what the cleanup will consist of and what he'll recommend. So John Baloo's he says, I know you all like to handle your own things in your property, so he says, I'm offering you all to handle it. He says, naturally, we'll pick up whatever costs are involved. And so I just wanted to make you all aware that we're looking at that. Al and I will continue discussing it and then once this company looks at our canal system and what we've been helping El Paso Water with and what the cleanup will consist of, then we'll make that decision.
Why does it need a cleanup?
Well, it's,
Is it silted up with all that stuff?
yeah, it's pretty green.
There's a lot of there's a lot of plastics that have to be removed.
Okay.
There's,
No, non-organics you're talking about?
yes.
Yeah,
I haven't looked at it.
Yeah, there's,
It's,
white
it's a little bit of graphic to get into what it all is, but believe me, there's stuff that's got to be cleaned up.
Well, you don't have to go to the details, Blair, I didn't ask you that, I just wondered why.
Okay, John, everything you have to say is Blue has no authority to make a contract with you of any kind.
With the district.
It's,
Yeah,
Blue-
so
sorry, what-
make
I
sure,
can't
He's a
hear
staff
that.
man. He's a staff man.
We're
I've
gonna try
taken the
as
same
fast as
position
to get on
several
there,
times.
so we
I know
can.
exactly
Yes,
what.
and that's with the irrigation.
I was going to complete my presentation on that. We have some return flow that we could start moving in and so on. So I've discussed it with Al about flushing it and doing other things,
yeah,
so we can get that return flow.
well,
to
yeah,
our
that's,
constituents.
yeah, the quicker we can get it used, like I say, if there's certain things that you don't, you can have, but I mean, if it's just sewage, I mean, it's fertilizer.
If it causes.
It's all degraded, I mean, it's all gone through decomposition, but
Yeah.
anyway, so.
Yeah, the section of cleanup that's in the Riverside Canal is gonna be pretty easy to do, where most of the debris is right near where the discharge was, and that was a decision that the Boundary Commission made to put that water in the American Canal, so we have to work with the boundary. It's actually, they own most of that canal and operate most of it. It's the first 2 miles from the dam down to the settling basin. We operate it on the settling basin, and there's a lot of debris there. But to get the Haskell Street water back in, we kept that part of the canal clean, so we can move the Haskell water real quick and use it to flush out the Riverside down Wasteway 1, and we have the Bustamante water joint in it there, so yeah, we can put our system back in operation very quickly. It's the American Canal and the settling basin that'll take time to clean.
Okay, it's just mostly the settling basin. Well, I mean,
Mainly, yeah.
You guys probably would like to do what John suggested.
Yeah, we do, because there's a lot of work to do at the settling basin.
Yeah, that's what I say, we'd rather do that because there's always problems if you don't. Suits me, I mean, well, I think, John's good, easy to work with.
Yes, he's very good to work with.
Yeah, we'll have to explore if we have to go out for bids on it, because it's gonna be expensive, but, it's reimbursement.
Let him
We may ask,
Let him
Yeah,
approve
we
the
may-
bids too, I mean.
yeah, we will do that. We may ask you guys to declare, it is an emergency, and if you'll declare it an emergency, I could take that to TCEQ and get them to approve it so that we can have, our emergency purchasing, stuff kicks in. I think that'd probably help us, don't you think, Chewy?
Yes.
Because we may have to make decisions very quickly and won't have time for the 30-day notices and stuff. So I'll get all that package put together, and we're just right on the edge of that. They haven't, like we say, they're still discharged to the river, and we can't even get in to inspect it until maybe next week.
Does it require board action, declare it emergency? I mean,
Yes.
Yes.
It is an
Yeah,
emergency.
yeah, we'll call a telephonic meeting.
Okay.
It'll be an emergency meeting,
Yeah,
we'll schedule all that.
It's definitely an emergency whenever that's the only supply of water we may have this year.
Right. So I'll take care of it, but we've gotta wait till we can get into the river and see what we're up against.
Good enough. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
When will you meet with John Blue and gang? When will you have that meeting?
After the water is removed completely out of the river, and we can have that company come and review.
Okay, but you don't have a date yet, set date?
No, because we'll have to get a price and see what the quote is from that company. From what I understand, there's only 2 companies here in El Paso that are certified by TCEQ for such cleanups. And one of them we have a conflict with, and this other one's going to look at them.
Okay. I'd like to be part of it, or just mirror, or just be a fly on the wall, if that's okay, too,
Sure.
whenever this happens.
Like I say, just make sure John approves whatever.
Yes, yes.
Okay, project updates, Riverside Canal and Isla Lateral Landing Project.
Okay, our men are back to work, and they're working on the Riverside Canal, continuing on. We're going to do close to a little over a mile of concrete lining of that canal, and that's through funding through the Bureau of Reclamation that we had gotten approved 2 years ago. And then the Isla lateral, we continue with phase 3 of that, concrete lining little by little. So we're doing from Rio Vista Road to
Moon Road.
Moon Road. And so the men are working on that. We should be able to be completed with that project probably within a month and a half, and then concentrate on the Riverside. And then Omar's been working on some other grant funding, so we can continue concrete lining the Riverside. And he's been working with Al on a sediment disposal area and within that canal at the tail end, where we could get rid of some of that sand that comes in. And so we're working on that also, and Omar's looking at the possibility of being able to get that funded either to Texas Water Development Board or the Bureau of Reclamation.
Great.
So that project, those 2 projects continue
How
on.
much more do we got on the Riverside Canal to do after that?
We've got, what would you say, Omar, about 5 to 7 miles more to do?
Yes,
Concrete
excluding the sediment control structure that Dr. Blair has talked about, and the lengthy ones, 5 to 7 miles.
And what's the projected time to do the island main over there, to finish that up?
Okay, the island main, remember we got a special earmark from the congressman out of San Antonio for,
Remember too, let's remember.
okay, close to $1 million. He did a special appropriation that Iliana carried for us through him, and then Omar and I worked with the congressman's office. So we got that already approved. So that funding should be coming in. Next year, we should be able to target that and
So
do
you're
the
talking about
island
doing
main
that
complete.
next year, not this year.
Yes, because we'll probably get the funding, it's looking like this May, get it everything approved, so we can schedule it.
And that's just to finish up that stretch then.
And we'll finish the whole island main.
Yeah, I just wondered the time frame. I didn't remember.
And then we're also, Omar's doing a seepage test starting this next week on the last section of the Franklin feeder that we have to concrete line. We already have the funding approved by Texas Water Development Board, so that won't happen till next year also. It's about 1.25 miles, Omar?
It's about 5,010 feet at
Yeah,
the
feet.
Franklin Peter.
And then the Franklin feeder will completely be done from
Well,
Partidor all the way to where it connects.
that was a huge sand trap. Is that gonna alleviate a bunch of that?
Yes. The only thing is now it accumulates on the Franklin between more or less where utility traders was to almost here.
We're
with
dumping
Flint.
it all the way into the Franklin now.
Yeah, so it just keeps moving on, so that's what Al's working
Well,
on.
maybe we can send it to Hudspeth County eventually.
Cover some of their lakes. And so that, those are the projects that we have going on right now.
How about on the lake project on the Socorro Pond?
The Socorro Ponds, Pete's been working on, we've been meeting with Al on getting one section up and running, so we're still working on that.
Working on that?
Yeah. Okay, item C, I'd like to table that till next meeting. We need to meet with the County of El Paso and TxDOT before we can give you all a presentation. It's a section of the Tornillo Canal that they're wanting to do a walking path and so on, and we've told them what it'll take as far as we need to concrete line the canal and so on, and they need to come up with a fund. So we need to have some meetings with them on that before we can give you all a presentation next month.
They're talking about using the bank of the canal?
Yes.
That don't sound promising to me, whatever they do. What about maintenance and all? No, I don't.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot that we need to talk to.
Yeah,
to
a lot,
Yes.
so.
And then,
I don't see that as being a possibility, but whatever.
on item D, we've got 2 office staff that hopefully they'll return back Monday to work that have been out with positive COVID tests. And then we have 11 out in the field from either maintenance or operations.
You know, all of a sudden, that stuff just exploded everywhere. You know, you didn't hardly know anybody that had it, now everybody's got it.
Yeah.
Which is what's supposed to happen. And then once you get that passed, and got an endemic virus and going down the road, I guess. I don't know.
So we're handling it the way we did last year, as far as what we do with the employees and so on, and everything's working so far.
Yeah, you just can't prevent somebody getting it. The good thing of it is, nobody's dying of it anymore.
Yeah. Now, on this deal, are they having a 5-day or are you doing the 10-day?
Well, we do the 5-day,
Uh-huh.
and then if they test negative, they have to give us a reading. If they test positive, or if a family member tested positive, before they come back to work, they have to go get tested and be negative, and then wear their mask for another 5 days if they're around other employees.
Yeah, the CDC changed that up completely,
Yes.
which made more sense. What was amazing to me was the stuff that I read was you're more contagious the day before you start having symptoms than you are from then on. So nobody even knows. I mean, you know, and then the first 2 days of that is when you're really contagious, and after that it wanes off quite fast. So.
Yeah, but like the mayor reported the other day, the fire department has 82 employees out.
Well, you can imagine, because it's all brutal.
So that, you know, everybody's having the same.
But the thing was, yeah, that's why I say it's running wildfire, but man, it's a good thing we get behind it, and the government's not overreacting and shutting down the whole damn world for something like me. I mean, I tested positive. I never did even feel bad. I mean, I didn't feel good, but I would have never quit going until they told me that, you know, that I was positive, so I stayed in, so I didn't want to infect anybody else. But it's not as, what I've had wasn't even as bad as a regular cold.
Right.
So, it's,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what a lot of people are experiencing. And there's also a flu going around that, you know, they don't know if it's flu or COVID or what when you go to the doctors.
Just let you guys know, I have to go back into the trial mediation in about 40 minutes.
Okay, I've got,
You're not through that thing yet, Blair? I thought you'd have it solved by now.
It's,
I'm almost done. On the last item, the executive committee was, and Al and I were supposed to meet with EBID's executive committee, and because of the situation with COVID, we canceled it. We're postponing it, so,
You know what the subject is?
they want to talk about, this season, what we're planning on doing. I told Gary, well, I wish we could tell you right now. I think it's still a little bit too early now. And
We're
then,
planning on doing the best we can.
and then they had some other things that they wanted to discuss, and he didn't share those.
Didn't say what.
No, okay. So that's all I've got, and then, I don't know if Al has anything, or we can move on to the licensing.
Okay, Blair, you can go back and settle the case. We're waiting on you to get it settled.
He's muted.
okay, and we'll discuss that in closed. So yeah, let's just go on to all the license items except for the one that is the subdivision plat. I think Bert can make a presentation on that. I believe most of these, Bert, are aerial crossings. And, you know, they're sort of ones that we've already approved. They're just more of the same.
Yes, that's correct.
Is there any specific one that requires any special attention on our part?
No.
Then I would entertain a motion that we approve application 1638, 3081, 3101, 3102, 3103, 3106, 3107, 3112, 3113, 14, 15, 22, and 23. Do I hear a motion to do
Move
that?
to approve this
Is
recommendation.
that Miguel?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Miguel makes the
Administration
motion,
recommendations.
and Larry seconds. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. That take care of you, Mr. Blair?
We're good. So now we go to closed if you want.
Okay, let's go to closed session. Moving right along.